do you put Robert Woods in the Blitnikoff race right now?
Oh, not very high up if he doesn't practice. Robert didn't practice today, and so hopefully he'll be healthy this week. But outside of that, he's played really well. And I think the thing that's special about him is he's not as big as some of those other guys, which obviously when you're bigger it makes it easier because those catches that he's having to dive for are right in stride. But his ability to line up at so many spots, he did it all again. He even actually started running routes from the backfield in that game, that we usually use the smaller running backs to do.
Do you have an injury?
He's got a couple of them.
Do you have an injury report today?
Yeah, Robert did not practice, and Torrin Harris did not practice. Everybody else did something for the most part.
About George, what do you think? What do you know about George?
I don't.
When you get into this kind of big environment with for lack of a better term, a showcase game with Luck and with Matt, do you talk to Matt at all about not getting caught up in it or not trying to do too much because of this particular environment?
Yeah, definitely. Later in the week. Right now it's just about preparing. That'll be decision making on game day, and so we'll talk to him about that, especially because of how well he played last year. And it's not his fault he didn't start the clock. It's not his fault that we didn't stop him in 2 minutes. He did everything he could do to win that game, and so we got to make sure that he just continues to play the same way and doesn't try to force it and try to win it because he's not playing against Andrew.
You've developed a lot of quarterbacks. What makes Matt Barkley so different?
I don't know that he's really different. We've been fortunate to have great ones here, a couple Heisman winners. So I think he's right in the lines of them. He prepares as well as any of them ever have, and his focus for the game, want to be great, as good as any of them.
Is there anything that stands out with him versus other players that you've helped coach?
No, I just think he does everything right. And where I think maybe that there was a flaw in somebody that you're always trying to change it. He really is. Just does every aspect of what you want on and off the field right.
When people sort of look at this game, they say, USC almost beat Stanford last year, and USC is better this year than last year. Do you think Stanford is better this year than they were last year?
Well, they're playing better if you look at the margin of difference, and I think that's unexpected. I think everybody thought there'd be a drop-off. They lost some players. They lost part of their coaching staff, including their head coach, which was what had made their team special. Jim coming in there and completely changing their mindset of how they play and their belief that they can go beat everybody, and it showed up. And so I think that there was a lot of thought that would drop off, and obviously, Coach Shaw has done a great job, and they're probably even better right now than they were.
Lane, where does Luck rank in college quarterbacks that you've seen?
Well, I don't know how you could find a more efficient quarterback that's ever played college football. If you put his numbers up and what he's done, and now wins and losses, and then red zone production. The quarterback has everything to do with third down and red zone. If he's not on, you're not going to do well in those two categories. And for 2 straight years, they've been phenomenal in third down. And you look at this year, they're 100% in the red zone, and that's hard to do on air.
And what's been so special about Barkley to Woods? Why has that been so productive?
I don't know. I just think you got 2 kids that really work at being great. In the offseason when we're not around, that they have the same mentality whether we're there or not. That they just want to be great. And I think what's unique with them is that they're halfway through their second year together. They're not seniors that have been playing together forever. They're doing these things like the touchdown pass on the rollout to his right, where somehow Robert knows that he's going to throw it behind number 5, and number 5 keeps running, and Robert stopped right before Matt threw it. They were just on the same page. We hadn't even practiced that exact look that way. And those are just 2 really special players and it was good to see, because for whatever reason, there's been one game this year they didn't have chemistry, and that was the game before. They were just a little bit off, up at Cal, and so it was great to come back.
Is there a chess match that goes on between a quarterback and a middle linebacker in a game like this with Luck and Filippo?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many other elements that go around it, and formations, and they do so many things, and it's amazing we're talking about, maybe the best quarterback to ever play college football, but really they start with the run game. That's who they are. That's what they're about. They're never going to go away from that, and it's great. I said it last year when I looked at them. I love the style that they play with. I've said that with the 2 places that I've been. I said that when we were at Tennessee about the way Alabama plays, and these guys do the same thing. I love the style that they play, and it's just, I guess I'm just old school that way.
Your coach had said Notre Dame has no weakness. now you're saying that Luck might be the best college quarterback in the history of college football. Is that, you truly believe that, or are you saying that just to kind of put some pressure and expectations on him?
No, I do believe that, and I'm not the only one. I mean, people have been saying that for 2 years. That you hear draft people say he's the best quarterback prospects, since Elway, and so those are big. You had a team come out and say before the guy declared he's going to be the #1 pick of the draft and that was after his sophomore year, and I can't imagine that's been said many times ever.
Coming off a big win under the national spotlight again, how do you feel about the future of your program going forward, given the scholarship productions and everything that you're facing?
Well, I feel really good. I mean, I think what Trojan fans should be excited about, we went into South Bend and played 45 initial scholarship players in that game. And so I think everybody's concern is what's coming and the reductions, and so we're already getting practice at it. So it's good to see that we can perform at a high level with those type of numbers, and we've been dealing with stuff like that for 2 years already.
You threw Galton and been at the right side. Is that because Martinez lacked production, or what?
No, just really that's where he should be anyway, and that puts Martin Coleman on the other side. We were just trying to get Marcus Martin going a week ago after coming off a subpar game. And our guards actually, I think, were probably the biggest key to that game. The 2 guards played really, really well in South Bend. Marcus played his best game by far, and John played his best game by far, which was great to see.
Zane, are you not saying what Robert's injury is?
He's got a couple of them.
Well, is he going to play?
I hope so.
Does
We
it
all
mean,
hope so.
is probation and not as big a deal as people made it out to be?
Well, I just think if you look at that, when you look at a team that, 6-1, and none of those teams are playing, with free agency haven't happened to them and the reductions and stuff. So I just think it's good for our fans, that have read so many things over the years about how bad it's going to get and how bad it's going to be, and to come to play like that, with that few players is really good to see.
Say that they're a kind of a run-first team, and you guys have been playing the run, really well the last few weeks. Do you like that matchup, their run game against your?
Well, we have been playing really well against the run. I think we're ranked way up there and have been doing a really good job, especially the last 2 weeks. And so that's great to see because we're going to have to. It's not often you play a team that just set their school record, with the history of some really good run games, and set the school record in one game. 7 days before we play them, we better be ready.
What adjustments have you seen out of the defense that's made them come alive the past 2 weeks?
Tackling, we tackled the best that we had last week. Limited big plays. There were hardly any explosive plays, a 25-yard run, but we've limited explosive plays and we've tackled, and so it's good to see. We're playing the last two games is how I thought we would play here in general the whole year. Looking at coming in with all the young guys on offense and more veterans on defense and more experience there. I thought this would be more the style we'd have to play.